This is a story about a young boy named Leo and his mom. From the moment he could remember, Leo felt like he was living in a cage. His mom, Maria, was always there, her love a thick, suffocating blanket. She chose his clothes, his friends, even what he dreamed of becoming. A doctor, Leo, she'd say, her eyes gleaming. "You'll make us proud." But Leo wanted to paint. He saw the world in colors and shapes, not in medical charts. His room was filled with canvases hidden under his bed, and the smell of turpentine was a secret he kept from her. Every "I love you" from his mom felt like a chain, every hug a tightening knot. He started to resent her, this woman who claimed to love him but refused to see him. The resentment grew, festering in the quiet corners of his heart until it turned into a dark, unspoken wish, a wish he was too ashamed to admit, even to himself. One afternoon, after a huge fight about his future, Leo screamed the words he never thought he would say out loud. "I wish you were gone. I wish you were dead." The silence that followed was heavier than any argument they'd ever had. Maria just stood there, her face pale, her eyes filled with a pain so deep it seemed to swallow the light in the room. Then, without a word, she turned and walked away. That night, Leo couldn't sleep. The echo of his own voice haunted him. The next morning, he found a note on the kitchen table. "My dearest Leo, I'm going away for a while. I need to think. I packed you some sandwiches for school. I love you." The house felt empty, hollow. The silence he had craved was now deafening. Days turned into a week. Leo came home to an empty house every day. He ate the frozen dinners his mom had stocked up. The silence of the microwaves beat the only sound. He found himself wandering into her room. He saw her worn-out gardening gloves, the half-finished crossword puzzle on her nightstand, a photo of him as a baby on her dresser. He touched her things, trying to feel her presence. He started to see her not as the warden of his prison, but as a person, a woman who loved gardening, who struggled with crossword puzzles, who loved her son more than anything. He remembered her singing him to sleep, her hands tending to his scraped knees, her cheering the loudest at his school plays. These weren't chains, they were lifelines. He had been so focused on what he wanted to be that he forgot who had helped him become who he was. The wish he'd made felt like a poison coursing through his veins. Guilt and regret were his constant companions. He missed her. He missed her nagging, her cooking, even her overbearing love. He found an old photo album. There she was, young and vibrant, holding him in her arms, her smile radiant. On the back of one photo, she had written, "My Leo, my sunshine, my everything." A tear dropped onto the faded photograph. He finally understood. Her love wasn't a cage. It was her way of protecting him, the only way she knew how. Her dreams for him were her fears for him. Disguised as ambition, weeks turned into a month. The house was no longer a home. It was just a building full of memories and regrets. One rainy afternoon, Leo was sitting by the window, sketching his mother's face from memory, when he heard a key turn in the lock. The door creaked open, and there she was. Maria stood in the doorway, looking older, tired, but her eyes, when they met his, were still full of that familiar, overwhelming love. Leo didn't say a word. He just ran to her, wrapping his arms around her, burying his face in her coat. "I'm sorry," he sobbed, his voice muffled. "I'm so sorry, Mom. I didn't mean it. Please don't ever leave again." Maria held him tight, her own tears streaming down her face. "I'm sorry too, my love," she whispered. "I'm sorry for not listening. I'm sorry for not seeing you." From that day on, things changed. The silence was replaced with conversation. They talked for hours, really talked for the first time. Leo showed her his paintings, Explaining the stories behind each one, Maria looked at them, not with disapproval, but with a newfound understanding, a glimmer of pride in her eyes for the talented, passionate son she was only just beginning to know. She didn't stop worrying, of course. She was still his mom, but she started to listen. She even bought him a new set of professional grade paints for his birthday. "I may not understand art," she said, handing him the gift, "but I understand you, and I want you to be happy." Leo hung his favorite painting in the living room, a portrait of his mother, not as a warden, but as he saw her now, bathed in sunlight, surrounded by her beloved flowers, smiling. Their home was no longer a battleground. It became a sanctuary, filled not with the tension of unspoken wishes, but with the warmth of acceptance and the beautiful, imperfect melody of a mother and son learning to love each other for who they truly were. It's a reminder that sometimes the people we push away are the ones we need the most, and that love, real love, is about letting go and holding on, all at the same time. If you're struggling with your relationships, please remember that talking can make a world of difference. There are resources and people who can help you navigate these difficult feelings. You are not alone. Thank you for watching.